Hello everyone, welcome back to overly long outros. How's everyone's day? I hope it's tolerable. Because what could you ask for more? Where are my trucks? Well, 5 more deployed. Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. We'll be you over here through active war zones, but you know, that's fine. Let's see, what do I want to do now? I could try and be bad. Where are the other 2 trucks? There's 1, and there's 2. We'll send you over here. We're gonna harass the Soviets as best we can now. So we're gonna send a line straight to Moscow. We're gonna send a line to here. And you know, for the hell of it, we're gonna send a line to cut off their armies in the west. Oh, already caught. Now that's no fun. Oh yeah, definitely already caught. Maybe I should have done this a bit more quickly. Oh well. Oh, speaking of which, we're moving slower because we don't have control of the skies. Oh, and we're not going to get control of the skies for a little bit. We need to take a few more air bases, which we have. Good. So the Soviets are putting everything they can in the air now. Which encourages me to form a defensive perimeter instead of this haphazard mess I would have liked to have created. But what are you going to do? Our goal is to create a little dome here and go. Our motorized divisions are in general worse than the Russians. And we're probably going to need to fall back to the city proper now because that is not good. Let's try and take control of the skies a little bit. I know we'll lose quite a few planes because we are not... Oh, they're stacking everything here now. This is not good. Well, this is unfortunate. It looks like we're gonna have to go to conventional... Look forward to conventional offensives again. And actually, in all honesty, I am going to retreat. Actually, what I want to do is take control of the airbase that covers Stalingrad. Is what I would really, really like to do if the game would let me. Come on. The Soviet divisions are just falling apart, but so are ours as a result of, well, specific reasons, I'm sure. Come on. Let me have it. Just let me have the airport. It's an airport, for God's sake. You don't need it. I mean, I know you have nukes now, and you're kind of afraid of that happening to you, even though Chinese nuclear program isn't quite that developed yet. Oh, speaking of which, we should probably begin building reactors. So we're going to stop building this stuff, and we are going to build reactors now. I have a habit of building it in Russian territory because it amuses me, because there's nothing here anyway, and who's going to care if a few if a few Chernobyls happen. That is not how you say that, but you know, that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Not my sentiment, but my actual vocals. Okay, and we're finishing 4 reactors, and I'm gonna go straight into producing the bomb. Eventually. Have we taken the airbase yet? We have! That makes me very happy, and this is a really shitty airbase. Which does not make me happy. But you gotta deal with what you gotta deal with. So we're moving from there, and we're actually going to retreat to the Sevastopol area once again and maintain ourselves there. because it is a defendable area when you look at it. And we are having difficulty with supply. Where's it coming from? It's coming by sea! Okay. That's not at all what I wanted. The Soviets refuse to press go. Well, that works for me. Come on, dorks. So really just supplied by sea? Okay. That's not good. You go over here. We're gonna retreat from Sevastopol in its entirety. 210 million people dead. I didn't realize we fought through the winter. That is not what I wanted to do. But that's the parables playing on speed really fast. Britain wants me to join their faction. That'll be fun eventually. So let's look at the Soviet-Polish War, as I'm sure it merged in. Soviets have lost near 1 million men here, and the Allies are not too bad for wear. Where's France? There they are. Where's Britain? Or where's Germany? Greatly reduced. Greatly reduced. Japan hasn't tried anything tricky, I see. Oh, they're destroying all my convoys who are trying to supply those dolts in Sevastopol, which is mildly infuriating. So we need to do a thing. We have to secure a river. Are we taking some river? No. Oh, let's start with that. Why are we having so much trouble? What? Okay, that's an interesting name for a Russian name. Perfectly, blah, blah. Okay, I'm getting to slur my speech again and go insane. That is perfectly alright to have a commander of the armed forces do that in the middle of the war. Perfectly alright. So we have 2 air bases that are not suited to their job, but are doing it anyway. We quite desperately do need to take Rostov, and we still do not have enough men over here, so we will continue to throw meat into this meat grinder. We're building a hell of a lot of trucks now, which is fun to see. What are you doing? Okay. This front has extended unacceptably, but there's not much we can do here. This is a bit much. What are you doing? Okay. Everyone's here. I mean, all like 5 of you. You have a job to do and you're not doing it. So if you're going to insist on doing this job, you better do it. And you all are going to finish this job. Why is that man here? That man should not be part of this offensive. Go. Who are you? Or you. There was someone here who was not supposed to be here. You! Mr. 17 out of 24. Where are you supposed to be? Somewhere, but your units are far afield. You know what? I don't care anymore. Let the hellscape that is Siberia deal with its own self. Yeah, Russia is not gonna have fun here. They've lost, if not too many factories, they've lost the majority of their resource collection, which is certainly significant. Romania is actually, or not Romania, but Hungary is surviving Soviet follow Berlin. Okay. I mean, the city fell twice now. Admittedly, it is holding quite well. Is what I would like to say. It looks like the Allies are falling back significantly. That is not good. Stalin is being a bit of a trickster now. We now have planes to match him, though, so the second that we are able and willing to try and gain air superiority, we will do so, and we will very likely win. Which is exactly what you want to hear in these sorts of situations. Belgium's here now. I really appreciate that, my allied friends. There are allied troops just circling around here. What's going on? Okay. It looks like they've abandoned France, which is kind of funny. Finally, I hope we can take Rostov. And we have... what size airport is this? 3. That is not significant, but every little bit helps at this point. We have total superiority over the skies of the Western Steppe. And hopefully soon we could advance into Russia proper herself. The Allied forces are now promptly retreating, which is amusing to me. Okay. Soviets are blockading this. Alright, you want to be cute? Okay. Oh, we took Stalingrad. That's also good. There's no news clip for it because who expects China to take Stalingrad from the east? No one. And for good reason. However, as the adage of don't start a land war in Russia applies to Russia, to don't start a land war in China. Which, technically, they started it. They didn't have to defend the rightful Chinese territory of Commie China. So they are getting everything they deserve and more. You know what, at this point we don't need necessarily such a professional force of trucks on our front line. So, what I'm going to do is assign them to the main offensive forces. And begin our little trickery once again. To the best of my ability. And why are you moving so slowly? Large river, forest, infrastructure. That makes sense. Go here. Large river now. So, where do we need to go now? Kiev is important, but Moscow is the most important. So... let's advance up the river a bit. The Russians are beginning to look worse for wear. I can't tell if their equipment's beginning to run out, though. I do hope it is, though, because that will go a great long way to, yeah, they're definitely beginning to run out of equipment with the zero strength units. That is actually a sight for sore eyes. We are not trying to retreat, we do want to advance that direction though. Keep you here. Not allowed to retreat directly into enemy soldiers. That's no fun. This minor Soviet city, though, is going to be the site of Allied advances soon, which is looking pretty nice. Put you here. And the Soviets are desperate to prevent any sort of action like this. Excavation 5, good. We need to... well... it looks like we finished researching everything we need to research there. That's good. We'll begin researching strategic bombers for no reason. No reason in particular. Therefore, civilian use only. Chinese Air Force something is going to be used to great effect. So, we've created a little salient here that I'm going to try and take advantage of and actually turn away from the offensive to Voronezh and try and shrink it. Is what I would like to say, but Mr. Zhukov here is still giving me a massive headache, which is quite infuriating. But, you know, it is what it is. Something I'm going to do now is I think I'm just going to assign the trucks to this front and take a break from microing little units. Because the AI is probably going to do a better job than me at this point, at least on speed 5. Oh, we actually have enough docks now to produce Destroyer 1. We're going to produce more convoys instead. Because we do not want to waste our time. And I did use our fighter focus, unfortunately. However, it doesn't look like it applied to jets at all, which is tolerable, I suppose. Which means that we aren't going to be able to sneak our way through to cheaper... rocket effort would have worked though, which means I wasted it. So that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate indeed. And... how are our... oh, we are running out of equipment. So much so that I am going to begin the grand transfer over of equipment, by which I mean we're going to produce more. It looks like we're going to need 2 lines worth. And that's if we get up enough in time. Which we probably won't, with losing 1,400 a week. That is very unfortunate, I have to say. I think it would be better if we produced guns over infantry equipment too. We do have a shortage of it, but it's better to have equipped troops than troops that, well, can't maintain their guns necessarily. So we've come to the point where we've advanced to Kamchatka. And Russia is falling apart. We actually are very quickly advancing in the Kiev region. Not Kiev, but Ukraine region, so we are going to endeavor to maintain that offensive and move planes over there to assist. And hopefully with all of these airports, we can take control of the skies. And however briefly so, we can compete with the Soviets. Their plane count is actually, besides wildly going around, is drastically less than ours at this point. Hopefully. But they are fighting 2 significant air forces, both ours and the Allied fighter fleets. And the Soviet Union has reached the Maginot Line, much to their chagrin, by which I mean the French chagrin, is they punched through. Again. I don't know, they just have like a toddler with a gun on the wall here, because that is quite bad for this to be happening over and over and over and over again. Oh, we actually have briefly gained air superiority over the Ukraine. That is very positive. Yeah, the Russians are not wanting to lose their planes. Let's see. Oh, enemy fighters lost 1,300. However, our own fighters lost were much greater. And on that note, let's take a look at Japan! Okay. The big boys are back to play. Now granted, they're entirely out of supply and are... Really? I mean, they bled themselves out dry, and this constituent piece is a significant part of it. This is probably like a fifth of their army. Really? Well, let's face it, these troops are going to get straight assigned onto the main army in Russia as soon as this is done. So we'll give you looting. And actually, we are beginning to advance upon Crimea. And begin the linking up of these two areas, which will allow our British friends to leave our territory. Well, future territory, so to speak. And Russia is going to fall soon. So the Japanese have lost 4.7 million men. 4.07, I should say. Let's see where that number goes to after we've finished our grand offensive here. Why they think it's a good idea to attack when they have no supply and have no chance of taking the port, I do not understand. But, works for me. Their armies are falling in quick order, which is good. Send the rest of these guys here, click the go button again. More radar, which is good. We will use it on the Japanese primarily. And it looks like these guys have lost. Well, it was inevitable that, and there we go, we got the pretty old bomb. And we produce one every 90 days. That's just absolutely stunning in terms of speed, if I say so myself. Oh well. It'll be done sooner than later, which works for me. What I am concerned about is finishing off this pocket so I can take a gander at how many Japanese people died here. 500,000 died in the cold streaks? Oh boy. Streets of wherever the hell this is. I suppose southeast China. Now that they've gotten some experience to wet them behind the ears. And wow, we have taken a lot of Soviet factories now, because we're now we're able to produce our own guns again for the first time in what seems to be an aeon. But that, however, is not the most important thing here. What truly does matter is we are on the verge of capturing Moscow. The Allies taken Leningrad. We have gotten the first generation of jet fighter. We're going to rush jet fighter 2 as quickly as we can. I'm actually curious to see what they compare in ground attack, whereas this plane has none. Okay. So in 1,000 days we'll have Fighter 2, by which I mean Jet Fighter 2. And actually, checking again, I want to see how much better Fighter 1 is better than Jet Fighter. Agility is worse, speed is worse, speed is better. And air attack is significantly better, and operational range seems to be roughly the same. So that works for me for now. I really wish I had a 50% reduction to this though, and get it done very quickly. No, well, we seem to have taken several important Soviet facilities, or at least built our own with respect to atomic bomb production. Switzerland joined the Allies. A miracle, oh my. Well, oh yes, I forgot we were at war with the Romanians. Oh, silly me. Oh, well, we have taken control of the Ukraine, and as such, we will begin trying to take control of... Can this hold a significantly larger amount? So we're gonna send these guys to Belarus now to try and